episode. They shopped.
Shopping episode. We were temporarily muted. Sorry about that. But you're good. All we missed was welcome back to Strange Hungers. Actually, do you want to take it again from the top one more time? Go ahead, Alex. Your go.
Welcome back to Strange Hungers.
Wow.
It's different. It's different every time. The party making their way through the marketplace of the Ferris Pass refinery town met a few interesting characters. Novel and I believe it was Tazriel managed to find a gardener selling some, God, what were they called? Moonflower tinctures, I think it was.
Moon lilies.
Moon lily.
Oh.
Some moon lily tinctures, the ingredients to make some healing potions with the investment of time and magic into them. Although, of course, it might not be advisable to do so in a town that is surrounded by the ichor that reacts so strangely to magic cast near it, as well as some additional blankets, food, warming clothing, scarves, mittens to replace some of the items they had lost in an encounter with some acidic ooze previously. Matthias and Vice have set out to scan the area around the pass throughout this day, with the acknowledgement that the party is most likely going to meet up in the evening to look a little bit deeper into the underground market of the Grin. Anything else I missed? That sounds good.
That was good. I'm all caught up.
We kind of fixed the sled.
Yes.
Not great, but it is fixed.
Oh God. Why?
Arden lugged a lot of lumber and managed to convince one of the workers who creates crates and barrels for the factory to
okay. That's nice.
repair.
Don't worry, we're gonna make it look nice while Matthias isn't looking. We're gonna get some sandpaper, we're gonna paint it, gonna have our handprints on it.
I want you to picture every single time the cart stops and everyone takes a short rest, Matthias is there with a planer, like one of those wood things, just shaving down the bottom of the sled so it looks nice again.
Woodworking is one of his skills. One of his few skills.
So we just gave you a project. It's great.
Listen, he's just good with his hands.
He needs direction.
Excellent. But as
communication is key.
As the rest of the party have spent their time of this day, I want to actually step back in time for a moment, if you don't mind. Matthias, to the previous night during your long rest.
Yes. I had a funny dream, didn't I?
A weird dream in this campaign? Couldn't be.
A strange little dream.
Yeah.
I seem to remember I was on a battlefield of some kind.
Yes. Matthias, previous evening, as you fall to sleep, you wake. Not as you normally wake, but rather the same kind of cool consciousness that comes when you are stepping between the land that you know and this strange white landscape that maybe now you are sensing is a land of death.
I'm putting it together. I'm getting there.
So slowly.
I'm putting it together.
Brain cells, they're clacking.
They're bouncing off each other like Legos.
You immediately smell something sour and rusty. Decaying bodies. Spilled blood. Rot in soil. Your feet are damp. You are covered in sweat. Breathing heavily like you've just undergone a massive exertion. And before you, in this tumultuous, carved out landscape between a valley of mountains, pockmarks within the ground where layers of flesh, rags, corpses, weapons are stacked up, you see a man. He is hunched over, seems to be digging through a pile desperately. You can see this damp soil coming away in his hands, like there's layers of water underneath the area that you're standing in. He's got this thick, dark beard, streaked through with gray. Long hair as well, hair that falls down his back, braided into sections that then come together, bound with these sort of thick steel-like bands. So much hair. Quite long. And although you can't see his face as he's bent over, you can tell this is a very strong and broad person. Perhaps not quite as much as you, but despite what is obvious signs age within his countenance, he is a solid force. The only moving thing you see in this landscape.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Dreams are so funny. Sometimes they are absolutely benign, and then sometimes they're a little bit freaky. This one feels a little bit freaky. There's something about how real it feels, and the fact that he, like, has these sensations going through his body where usually in a dream he wouldn't feel anything. So he's not going to do what he would do in a dream, which would be simply to, like, flow through it and just let it happen. Instead, he's going to approach this man who is now digging through a pile of something and stop short, maybe like 6 feet, let's say.
You begin to hear this sort of desperate murmuring. Where is it? It has to be here. It has to be here. It was just in my hand. I had it. I willed it. I cut them down with it. Where is it?
Can I help you?
He turns his face up, and you see set in wrinkled skin that is scarred over, almost like a shaved patch, sort of, within this long hair, but it actually looks like maybe he had taken a thick blow to the skull at some point, and there's this scar tissue that hasn't quite healed over where the hair hasn't grown back. It looks like he's blind in one eye as well. Just a massive wound at some point. As he looks up towards you, narrows this one eye that you see is a dark brown inside, almost sort of gray-esque skin, kind of desaturated, very pale. Looks up towards you, and that one eye kind of narrows. Doesn't say anything, just staring at you. And then straightens up, begins to stand.
I seem to be visiting somewhere. I'm still getting used to this place. I don't know if you are any more familiar with it than I am.
You've got it.
God what?
He points down to your hip, where you see buckled into a sheath that is unfamiliar to you. This long, burnished leather, kind of strapped over with iron bands that are similar to what was in the man's hair. It is unadorned, comfortable, long, wide, but the hilt of that black sword, ancient, is there at your hip.
Is this yours?
Yes.
I found it in a garden of the dead. It was buried inside a body.
His brow kind of wrinkles when you say garden, and then he almost kind of smiles at the Garden of the Dead, gestures out. It has known the taste of many bodies.
Okay. Alright. Matthias's brain is going so fast. Can I... Can I, like, try and put together what's happening here? Can I make an attempt to click these Lego pieces together?
Allow you to give me a history check.
I would love that. Quick, quirky little history check. Okay, alright, Matty boy. Let's see what you have for me today. Come on, buddy. You can do it. A 10. And I'm proud of that.
10? Fair enough, Matthias. Fair enough. With a 10, you can tell you are in a place that seems similar to Skyhome. The mountains and ridges around you are vaguely familiar enough, even though obviously this isn't the terrain that you grew up in necessarily. Like, this is soil, and you haven't spent a lot of time in Upper Skyhome, but you can tell you are in Skyhome of a sort. You can tell this is the aftermath of a great battle, and judging by this, the appearance of this man, you can tell that this is likely from a time before you lived. Like, these styles, the dress, anything like this that you're looking around and seeing, this is a very, very long time ago. You can also tell that although you are understanding what he's saying, the accent, the way he's pronouncing it, it doesn't really seem like you are actually speaking the same language, even though you can understand him.
Interesting. Interesting. I have it with me now. I'm not sure that I can give it back to you. But I will make good use of it. It's a powerful weapon.
This is the only time it's straight from my hand. It never wanted to do so before.
What is your name?
Jival.
Jival. My name is Matthias.
Jival.
A general. Looks around at all of the carnage around him. I am a knight of the Order of the Black Ice.
Unfamiliar.
Regardless, I can feel the power inside of this weapon, your weapon. And
not mine anymore.
I will use it well. And
some forces you do not use, you just direct.
What do you mean?
That blade wants. And gestures around the battlefield.
Wants carnage?
Carnage is what I applied it for. If the blade is no longer in my hands, then war, I suppose, is no longer its purpose. But the severance of breath from body, that is what it was made for.
Oh boy. If that is what it longs for, then I think that I can be of service.
Kind of looks you over, appraises you. You are taller than this man, but again, you can tell obviously he is quite strong. I don't understand why you stand before me. Perhaps I had meant to guide you. Just kind of wipes off his hands. You can see they are stained with soil. The outfit that he wears, long, dark cloak. Armor, ceremonial, kind of carved in with these whirling spirals that are very reminiscent of water. But like these thick bands of metal of different colors that have been put together and welded. I wonder if I cannot rest until that blade does.
You mean to destroy it?
You can try. Many of my enemies did.
Do you want to rest?
He smiles. Kind of a amused smile, Matthias. A very cynical one. I was never taught how to.
Like him saying that, Matthias's eyes raise and his eyes widen just a little bit in like a very vulnerable expression of surprise, very much taken off guard, and says, I can understand that. I do wonder.
He steps towards you very quickly.
What? Okay.
And reaches to grab at the sword at your hip. And, like, try to pull it out of the sheath.
Yeah, I mean, being approached quickly is not super great, so he probably just does step back and, like, tries to defend himself, but I don't think I'm going to stop him from pulling the sword out.
He pulls the sword out and kind of brandishes it. And you feel a sick tugging sensation as the battlefield and the ground kind of tilts beneath you.
Oh.
And then just like a shaking, a splitting movement, and then you find your eyes open. Are ripped from sleep. And your hand is extended out with the sword stuck into the wall next to your bed.
That's not good. Hey, I was sleeping in the tent.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you were sleeping in the tent in the room, right?
Fuck! Alex just had to fucking destroy the tent. It wasn't enough that I brought it with me so it didn't get hurt by the black puddings. I gotta fucking stab it in my sleep. Super cool.
You
Question, is this the same sleep in which
Yes.
Kiara is cuddled next to you? Okay, cool. So the person I'm cuddled up against is stabbing tents in my sleep too?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And then, Maddie, as you release the sword, like put your arm down from having successfully slain your tent. Do you keep holding on to it? Do you drop it in the middle of the night?
Oh, good question. Matthias? Pulls it back in, and I think he keeps a tight grip on it.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want it to, like, clatter to the ground or anything, but he is breathing hard and sweaty. And he pulls it in towards himself and, like, balances it with his other hand and just kind of looks at it.
You look at it for a long time before you fall back to sleep for that long rest.
Jesus.
I will let you know. I think I might have already said this, but you cannot unattune from this blade without the assistance of some form of magic. You're not sure what exactly, but for as long as you are attuned to it, there are a number of unique properties that it offers you. Matthias, this is a magical weapon. It also ignores resistance to slashing damage. So, if a barbarian, for example, or a creature, anything like that, is resistant to slashing damage, it ignores that resistance. So it always does full slashing damage.
The girls are fighting!
It also begins with a +0 for each soul that you slay while wielding Ancient. You are able to capture their soul. So if you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, if you kill a creature while you're wielding this weapon, you can store their soul within the blade, but has up to 3 souls stored within it. It goes from a +0 to a +1 to a +2 to a +3 magical weapon. However, the more souls that are stored within it, the more that I get to attempt to wrest control of the blade away from you.
Oh.
And perhaps other things like that.
Alex was like, Sloan, I'm going to give you an option because I love giving this option. I can give you a +1 weapon that's kind of good, or I can give you an incredible weapon that's fucking cursed. And I said, curse please!
Oh my gosh.
There's a dude in your sword.
There's a guy
and he doesn't
in
talk
there.
to you.
There's a fucking guy in there. Okay,
amazing.
fabulous. Thank you.
We both have guys in our swords now. That's cute.
Yeah.
Here's
Dress is a
my
lot
question. How loud was your stabbing?
I don't...
Would it wake up a drunkish, a buzzed person?
I don't think it wasn't, since it was a tent and not like a wooden wall. I feel like it was kind of like Matthias trying to go into sleep.
I don't want to take the opportunity to talk to him about it from you, so we can say that the tent is still ripped if that's something that you would like to do.
Maybe bring it up. She'll bring it up when the next time.
Great. Cool.
She sees him, because when she wakes up, he's gone, right?
Yes.
He went to do work.
Yeah.
He went to work out. I said that Matthias went for a jog around the lake.
Kiara
Good
did
guess.
watch you while half asleep do push-ups.
Good.
Also did that.
Distracted from the torn tent by big, beefy push-ups.
As you should be.
Excellent. Now
He just cut a little window for her to look out.
Just a little window. Kiara
out of
didn't
the
even
tent.
see the window. She just saw it was on the other side.
Sounds about right, honestly.
But next, now that you have gained the benefits of your long rest, and Matthias, you would set out on your patrol with Vice, I want to return back to the rest of the party. Now, you guys have regathered at the Slick Hole. Is that correct?
Yeah, we got
After
full
shopping,
fingers
yeah.
in that.
Oh. God.
Amazing. Let me.
Wait,
Too
look at
early
my
to talk about
sword.
fisting.
Look at the
holes.
fucking sword on Matthias. That bitch is
Where are you?
big. Oh, maybe you all can't see me, but the stream can
No,
see me.
you're inside. I
I'm
think.
inside.
I'm gonna go
Oh.
inside.
I can see it on the stream. Oh boy.
Get back in that tavern.
I have a man.
Is that a big sword, or are you just happy to see
Travel
me?
all online. We're all going in, gamers.
Get in
Oh, yeah, I
there.
forgot that I gave Sarah GM powers because they were producing. Still
I
playing
do
Sir
have to
Wormrat.
ask Awaish to fix the tent. I do need
Yes.
to do that. And that
Actually,
will
you know,
happen.
let's do this.
Hmm?
Matthias,
What's that?
could you give me a perception check and a nature check, both at advantage because Vice is helping you?
Hell yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, that was really good. That one was worse. Okay, so the perception check is a 23.
Okay.
Nature check is a... Please don't do that again. Okay, that one was also good. Nature check, you said?
Yes.
That is a dirty 20.
Fantastic, Matthias. You and Vice scout out the area around the Furious Refinery. You are familiar with the passage that you usually take that sort of goes along. It's almost like a cliffside kind of route, very narrow path that is guarded usually by members of this refinery. There is usually a toll or a tax, although it's not anywhere near as exorbitant as the one that you had passed through previously in Skyholm. The bridge itself is upkept and lit by electricity from the factory, so you scout a ways out away from the town to make sure that the bridge is still up and running, keeping an eye on, you know, generally the weather, the area, any animals or other patrols that might be active. And both you and Vice get a good sense that this is a fairly decent time to cross. It seems like there's probably a storm coming in the next few days. So either waiting the storm out or traveling sooner rather than later might be ideal. But with both of those checks, you can tell that traveling with a large group, which can sometimes be dangerous in the wastes, is a good time to do it. Moving as a pack, the gnolls that you had encountered previously do not seem to be in the area beyond the pass, maybe held back by the presence of the Ichor here, something like that. There are many people who do avoid areas where it's mined and refined. You also, just generally, having taken in the area with Vice, can tell that the season, like you, here we go. It seems like the seasons of the waste have not been heavily affected by the change in the moon cycle. So it is cold as you expect it to be. You see signs of frost as you are traditionally familiar with and you studied under the Order. Things have not changed much since you've left. There haven't been any big, changes in the ecosystem of this area. So you feel, once again, settled into the fact that you are quite familiar with this route and that you can guide your party through it.
Okay. All right. Fuck yeah. Nice. With that confidence, I'll be around. I know I just had a big scene, so.
Yeah, well, I'll say, actually, since you've taken most of the day to do this and it's heading towards the evening, I just wanted to set that up so you and Vice can return to the tavern to...
Hell yes.
Everyone.
Nice.
Great. Okay. Now, the rest of you, I'm assuming that Kiara and Barden and all of you guys have carried your materials in and you're just kind of storing them up in your rooms, etc., repacking things.
Mhm.
The horses and goats have been attended to in that little kind of back area. Your sled has once again been kind of pulled back and stored by the inn. And so you regather in the main area of the inn. It seems like there are a number of people kind of in the inn itself now. This is again, kind of a dilapidated but pretty big building. So you have the front counter, then you have a kind of back serving counter, and then you actually have a private back room as well. So you guys reunite here. Awaish, after you had that conversation with Neve, she's still trailing along with your group as well.
Cool.
I've got to
Hell
find
yeah.
my
Nothing's
Vice.
awkward.
Put Vice in here. Get Neve in here.
What doing?
It's good to have everybody back together again. It feels like we've been a bit spread out.
Nobody leave others without telling.
Why?
We're all spread out and it's good to be back together.
That's true.
Leaving others without telling would be the opposite of that, right?
Yes, it would. Oish, I have need of your assistance. I injured my tent.
Ow.
I stabbed it. Accidentally.
Do you have it?
It's still upstairs. I left it pitched.
Well-
Wish just kind of gives a shrug and goes upstairs to fix the tent.
You don't have to do it now. We can stay together. I just, at some point.
They go up, they fix the tent, they come
Oh,
back a minute later. They're not gone forever. They're just like, yeah, all right, dude.
Did I
Their mind is
stabbed in
mind
my
is
sleep?
distracted.
You
Kira
were.
just is like, did I almost get stabbed in my sleep?
You didn't. You didn't almost get stabbed, I think.
So you knew what you were stabbing when you stabbed it? You went, Arden, yeah!
No, I had a bit of a strange dream.
I mean,
And,
too
If you
strange
had
to
been
tell.
turned the other way, you could have stabbed me.
This doesn't usually happen.
Besides, you're
Maybe
the
no more
healer, aren't you,
sleeping with our
Kiara?
swords. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, besides, you're the healer, aren't you, Kiara?
Yes, but
No, it's very
that's
fair.
not the type of stabbing I want to wake up to.
I don't. Oh, I still don't want to stab you. It really. I'm very, very sorry. I really am very sorry.
Oh no, you didn't
used to your
stab
new
me.
sword.
New sword? When did you get that?
Just don't
Say that again. I didn't
don't
hear
keep
it.
cuddling a sword.
I won't. It's a very good point. I won't do it again. I honestly didn't think that it was going to happen. Does the sword have a sheath on it now?
No, it does not. It still lacks a sheath.
I really need to get a sheath for this. I think it'll help. I didn't want it to get, it's new to me. I didn't want it to get messed up at all. It was sort of a
Pardon?
gift, I think.
Barden is
This
like
man is
right there and is
suspicious.
now just like, can I look? Can I? Where did you get it? Like, I wanna investigate that bitch. I wanna look at it. It's a cool sword. I love cool swords.
Yeah, sure. He
Pardon?
seems so, like, reticent to give
Gonna
it to
kill
you.
me.
And-
I mean, you can hold it if you want. I just want to look.
Yeah, sure, he'll hold it out, for sure.
I mean, yeah. Oh,
It
fuck
does
it.
feel more comfortable for you to keep a hand on it, Matthias.
Mm-hmm.
At me, look at this sword.
Give me a history check. I think that, listen, I know for a fact that Novel has read through a book like History of Swords, like all the diagrams of the different types
I
of
rolled an
weapons.
I will use an inspiration if I need to.
Definitely a wolf
okay,
guy, but
you-
for swords.
You don't have to use an inspiration. I'll say, I will tell you that although you have a very encyclopedic knowledge of weaponry, this is a very unique blade. So its DC to know shit about it is very, very high.
Boo!
DC to know
fine.
things. I do,
Um,
look around the party, and I don't know if I explained this to anyone. I think I might have said it to Kiara, but I will say, I'll give the party the rundown of what happened. The full, I went to the fucking land of death and garden of bones and sword in a skeleton, and I pulled it out, and then I had a dream, and a guy was there, and he was like, "This is your sword now," and was like gesturing around to a bunch of carnage, like full, just the whole thing. The
Yeah.
whole
I
thing
also
to the
realized-
party.
I think my mic was wrong. Do I sound better now?
You do.
That's great, Alex.
You had an 8 on the history check, right?
Yeah, that was fucking nothing.
Yes. Okay.
I was too close to a 19. I watched it roll. It's like, you
I will
bastard.
give you this. This thing is old as fuck.
Older than the
This is
Titans,
a-
right?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, I'm writing that. What a hate, eh?
Can the rest of us make a
Thoughts
history
my
check?
sword can drink and yours can't.
Kara is not making a history check.
Yes, Taz, you can give me a history check.
Okay, I'm drawing this sword. It's just like, I'm sending this to fucking Siren. But if I don't have the info, I'm finding out from somewhere else.
20 not
Fucking
natural.
telling on me to your dad?
Uncle.
20
He's
non-natural.
more fucked up. He's more fucked up than my dad.
Fair
Okay.
He's a fucked up little
Casserole.
man.
Same thing. This sword is super, super old. It is also made out of a unique material, considering that you spent time in Uaran Albara, etc. This seems to be a kind of treated metal that... How much knowledge do you have of, like, blacksmithing process? Is anyone in your family?
Hold on. Let me roll a d20 about it. If there's somewhere on my mom's side,
Yeah.
evens yes, odds no. Yeah, an uncle
Okay.
probably.
I think, you know what? I think that makes sense. Blacksmithing and, like, craftsmanship is a big thing in Nabshor. They produce a lot of weapons. So this isn't the kind of blade that most people would have because it is blood-staunched metal, meaning that it is not quenched in water, but quenched in blood as it is forged.
Oh my god.
If we dip it in water, is it going to be like the samurai swords that bleed? Yeah.
Okay, so Taz is just looking and just examining as well right next to Barden.
Which, by the way, is a lot of blood to dip a sword that
yeah.
into.
I should
lot of
say
blood.
so.
Like a whole person's worth of blood or
Several
more?
persons,
Or, like,
probably.
several persons for over the course of like forging. You know, you have to. Yes.
Oh, and you
Oh,
gotta,
okay.
okay, y'all. Also, like,
Okay.
you gotta do that quick because blood doesn't keep. So you gotta kill
Oh.
everyone.
Is that just stabbing
immediately.
someone as soon as it's forged? Just like,
Oh my god.
Okay, wait a second.
Yeah, you
Work.
wouldn't get the full thing. You wouldn't get it fully dipped. It would only be partly dipped the whole way.
You gotta kill
the whole
somebody,
thing.
drain them,
You gotta
and
dip
put
the whole thing at
someone
once.
in half. It's in half. You just gotta be fast.
Basically, people don't make these anymore, or if they
reason.
do, like, the weapons would be worth a lot, but also a travesty. You know,
Kind
like
of fucked
Yeah.
up. Matt, you got
A
fucked up with
wartime
the sword right
weapon.
there.
This is a war crime. I'm carrying a war crime.
Okay,
demonstrated by the massive war crime battlefield dream.
Hey,
that is a
listen,
war
fair
crime.
enough.
Okay, wait. So, Maddie, you told us about the dream with the carnage, correct?
Everything. Everything,
Okay.
yeah.
So then I
It
think
makes-
Taz is like examining this as well, and he's very good at hiding his facial expression. So it's not like his eyes go wide or anything, but he's taking a look and then he says, all of that carnage you saw in the dream might not have just been at the hands of that person, but also like indicative of how the sword was made. This is to make this, you have to constantly dip weapons like these into blood while it's being forged. Fresh blood. These aren't made, or if they aren't widely made anymore for obvious reasons.
Oh.
Do you feel comfortable wielding such a weapon, Valerian?
I don't know.
Is he a magical spellcaster? Can you tell?
Oh.
Oh,
And
me?
a wish will cast detect magic.
Oh, he's just like, yeah, that's cussed as shit.
Little old me.
I wanna let you know that I've been very brave and not having a wish do any shit for this until this moment. But yes, they cast detect magic.
How does a wish feel being called spellcaster? Because in my mind, it would be kind of like I have a name, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, I am the spellcaster.
I think they're kind of like ambivalent. They're like, yeah, that's what I am.
That sure is.
At the same
Cool.
time, Kiara is a little bit like, what am I, chopped liver?
Yeah,
what am
yeah.
I even doing here? What the fuck?
Well, plenty of reasons Vice would refer to what Kiara does in a different way than spellcasting.
Vice is so mean to Kiara.
Do I do cursed things with my magic? Yes. However, it's kind of neutral.
I've also kind of established in Oashia's history that the term spellcaster isn't just is a thing that people call people. So like using the full word spellcaster kind of signifies a role as well. Like there's a reputation to it. So a mage might be different than like a spellcaster. I haven't explained it a lot, but I enjoy using the word as something that has significance in this world.
Because all of those fucking slots.
Anyway, yes, you cast detect magic. Are you trying to do this without people noticing here in the tavern?
Oh, right. I don't
Like,
think
if you're
a
gonna
wish
let me
would
egg
be
you
that
on, please. But...
distracted.
I have a big
I don't think a
body. I
wish
can
would be
just
that
shield.
distracted. Yeah, they do still have some, they have a high wisdom modifier. It's +3 now, so
Wow.
they'll remember. They'll try to do it subtly.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Little stealthums.
Yes. Can I possibly make it a little more focused and do sleight of hand?
Sure. Yes.
I have to find a die.
Can I also do a divine sense? Someone in chat
Yeah,
mentioned
sure.
it, and it's actually a really good idea.
Give me a divine sense.
I am divine sensing.
Aha! I rolled a 19 with a +5 to my sleight of hand, so that's a 24.
Excellent. It seems like the bartender and the staff that are stepping around, as well as the people in the next room, have not taken notice of you doing this. So the detect magic, this weapon immediately pings your senses as a magical weapon. It is definitively magic, and I would say necromantic
Okay.
in nature.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh,
Got a
Alex-
death sword, dude. No, sorry.
Christ.
Actually, Oash, give me an Arcana check as well. DC 20.
Everybody check out my fucking sword.
Right. Alex, while that's happening, can I expend like one of my psionic dies to see if I can reach out if there's something like a mind in there to touch?
Oh my god.
I will allow it.
Okay.
VJ, your mind.
Intriguing.
Grip it.
Yes.
I mean, you don't need to know anything past the fact that I got above a 20, right?
What'd you get?
28.
Jesus.
A 28 on Arcana? This is cursed as balls, Sig.
Sword's cursed as fuck.
Definitively, this sword is cursed. You...
Okay.
I honestly think you have probably seen cursed weapons pass through multiple hands before, maybe even sold some of, from your background, that kind of thing. A sword this old with magic this powerful seems like it could permanently leave a mark on a person.
I think Oish takes in that information, takes in the whole story that Matthias just told about what happened, and says, it's very rare that you meet someone with so defined a destiny. Intriguing.
Because of this?
Everyone's got.
Did you just
yeah,
vomit
you're
into your
very
mouth?
Quiet, Sloan. No, you were unable to be heard.
Oh. Sorry. Jesus. That was Sloan, not Matthias. Matthias says, you say this because of the sword? What do you
Do you
mean?
plan on wielding this?
From, yes?
Can you let go of it?
Matthias tries to
You
just
don't
put it.
want to.
Oh God. He does reach over and just tries to place it on the bar. He puts it on the bar.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Alex, while that's happening, is there consciousness in there saying something or whatnot while Matthias is trying to put it down?
There is no mind you can currently reach within the sword. It does not seem to be a sentient sword. You cannot communicate with it, but I mean, reaching out to it, it's, I guess, it's kind of like reaching towards a dead body, where you feel like maybe there is some kind of intelligence about it, but it's not there anymore.
I did get a 10.
Again, Matthias, you're able to put the sword down. You're not. It just takes a little bit of will. Like, you have to really think about if you want to do it. It feels good in your hands, and it's very precious, and it was given to you, you know, as a duty to take care of. And this is a dingy bar, and there are strangers here.
Perfectly logical.
Well, it's very precious and very dangerous, so it's both in your care, and also doesn't have a sheath. So, like, you have to think about it before you put it down, but you're able to do so if you want.
Sword will get cold.
I feel connected to it, and it was meant to assist. And why do you laugh at that?
The type of magic that I have determined from this, I would not call it assistance. This type of magic only assists itself, but it might help those that it wishes to along the way.
Right.
I think you should use it.
Are they being honest?
Yeah.
Matthias definitely looks over and is like trying. It's obvious in his face that he's like trying to figure out whether Oacia's being like genuine or not. And then when he sees that she's being genuine, looks a little confused.
I mean, there are some
what they just
there
said.
are some looks around the room, not around the room, but there are some looks from that. Like, Neve kind of looks at Oash in a way that's a little funky, and then Vice also looks at Matthias in a way that's a little like.
And then like looks at Taz making heavy eye contact with the sword, and Novel also checking it out, and Kiara, and will grip it again and bring it back to himself and just say, I need to get a sheath for this. I'll think about it. And things seems abruptly a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And stands.
Everyone wants your sword so bad.
Stands like a little too fast, kind of like when Mr. Darcy stands when Elizabeth like walks into the
Yes.
room, and like stands there awkwardly and then says, I'm gonna go buy a sheath somewhere. Does anybody else need anything? You all went shopping already. I'll be back.
Oh, buddy.
As he's on his way out, just like, check out the sled. We fixed it, kind of.
Awesome.
I say awesome. He's so fucking flustered that he says awesome.
Matthias, the sled is fixed, but by God, it's not pretty.
He hesitates a little bit on the way out the door, remembering what Kiara said about nobody running off, but then is gonna push through. Sorry, he's gonna be a little poop.
Well, you said where you were going.
Yeah, that's true.
The market stalls are starting to close down, and you have time to do a quick kind of loop through. Although there is a blacksmith here and like great sword sheaths, none of them are what you would want to give a sword of this quality. Like, you can buy a sheath that will do for now, but it feels like a shame to put, like, none of them quite fit is the vibe, I'll say.
I gotta get something to put this sword in. Do I have to make it myself?
I would love that. You are welcome to work on that. You could also, you are fairly sure that the forge near the order would probably be able to make you something.
Yeah. Okay. We'll probably do that.
Like
I think the
magic dampening or something, but you can buy something to just hold it in, so you can carry it for now if you want.
The extent of Matthias's leatherworking is like, I can wrap this in leather, in like a leather tube, and that's it. So he'll get something. He'll get something. He just needs to put it away for a little bit.
You are also, you have the sinking sensation that the upkeep of this sort, magical weapons usually don't dull or nick or anything like that, right? They kind of keep themselves up. You have the feeling, as someone who is well versed in the care of martial weapons, that this is the kind of sword that would probably be very happy to bathe once again in the liquid of its birth.
Okay.
You think that would make this thing real shiny, and by God, it's old, so it could use a bath.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying, if you were to wrap it in blood-soaked leather, he'd probably be real happy.
No.
Real happy.
You're gonna smell.
I gotta say, I went out with a couple of the folks I was working with last night, and one of them was talking about a blood rave where a goth club ran fake blood through the sprinkler system on their roof, and everybody wears white, so it just soaks you. And last night I was like, wow, that's so goth. And now I'm like, Jesus Christ, somehow I have tipped over into...
Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't like it.
Anything that knows is gonna know you.
I will say on the inside tavern side, Matthias leaves, and then Awaish goes, I think that went well.
Maybe we're a bit too intrigued. I think we
No, that's
might have-
fucking weird.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a little. I thought I had a weird sword.
I could get one somewhere.
No. I don't
Do not
think anyone
recommend
should have
haunted
that.
ass swords.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if we're traveling in the waste and Matthias just found one.
I feel like it's less finding
You want a cursed
than it's
sword.
finding him.
Well, I don't want a cursed sword. I want a cool sword.
We'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you, Tazriel.
A real sword?
I just can't imagine Neve lifting one.
Not a sword, bitch. Well, Neve's
Neve could be a sword bitch.
Neve is gonna
Right
Neve's gonna get a blade
gonna be
song
sword bitch.
Oh yeah.
eventually. We don't know
It's gonna
that.
be
you
so
know.
hot. We don't know that. Of course, we don't know that.
Matthias, things are a little pricier here. If you give me 5 gold pieces, you can find some leather and something to put your sword in for the time being. Not ideal, but so you can carry it.
Okay, 5 gold pieces. Sounds fine to me. Anything at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely no problem. Take my tooth too.
You think of maybe going to the butcher and getting something. If you want like a little bit of cow's blood to wipe it down, you know,
You know what? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
think you
will
could clean it.
go to the butcher, request some blood, which I'm sure is very normal, and
I mean, it's done. There are blood soups here.
Yeah.
You
fair
can make
enough.
food out of it. Black pudding, baby.
Yeah.
He's gonna find
Sure,
a
people want
quiet
to eat black
place.
pudding in this area.
He's gonna find a quiet place. He's gonna go somewhere where no one can see him. And he's gonna wipe his sword down with blood.
You return a shine to this black metal that is quite beautiful.
Does it?
It looks a lot nicer. It doesn't hum contentedly or anything, you know, but it looks nicer. You can tell that wiping it down with like oil or that you might usually use to treat a weapon, your own old sword, it just needs a little bit something different. But you are a fighter, so you know how to take care of your items. You know, taking care of your weapons is as important as taking care of yourself. So
It's not weird. It's just different. She's quirky.
she's just quirky.
She's just quirked up.
Like,
Yes, but
the blood doesn't run off or anything, or does it? It soaks in, right? The blood
no, it
goes.
runs off. It doesn't soak
Oh, I
in.
thought it was eating it.
And it is dark, but it's just a funky item that requires a little bit more upkeep, but it's not like sucking your blood or anything.
What
Just
if-
quirky.
Never mind. Cursed thought. Anyway, Matthias, like, when
I
he
will-
sees this happen, looks so resigned. And then is going to, like, put it into the sheath and just, like, he's gonna go back, I guess. Doesn't take too long. I feel like I've done enough. What's everybody else doing?
Market time.
Market time.
Yes, the outside market stalls have shut down, but I was wondering, do we want to do a quick 5-minute break here?
Oh, yeah.
Before we... All right. Then let's take a little break. We are going to take our bio break, and then we will be back with some black market dealings in a few minutes.
Burb.
You want
God.
a
Oh,
minute?
bless you.
Is
Dab
it a-
on him. All right,
cute.
goodbye. fun. Hello?
Hello, and welcome back to Strange Hungers. Lone, if you would be so kind as to show the lovely folks the map as you guys go on a little adventure.
Oh, yes. Yes, and are you gonna bring us over? I'm looking at the inside of a tavern right now.
I think we should all go outside and
Oh,
make
I
our way.
see. You want us to do a
Wow.
little traveling. I gotta
Yes.
get out of
You guys
here.
all go stand under this arch here. Then you can make your way over to the outside. Just hit T when you're standing under the arch, and you should be able to travel back out the doors.
Ooh, okay.
Here we go.
Ba-da-la-da-la-da. Oh, my arrows are still here. I've got to clear them off.
All right. We are on our way. Tell everybody I'm on my way. New friends. I'm honestly following Taz because I don't know where I'm going, but Taz does.
I'm also gonna make it. Now it's evening.
Oh, it's nighttime.
I'm gonna make it so you can see a little bit better. There we are.
I was definitely singing in my head. We're going on a trip.
Soaring through the sky.
I'm gonna make you a little path. Underwater pathway.
Tazwheel, where do we
Yeah.
go?
Oh.
Get on it.
Yeah, that's because multiverse thinks that water is for losers.
Water
It doesn't want you
is
guys
for
think
losers. Fuck water.
Chester is patrolling.
Are you one of those motherfuckers that never drinks just water? Oh shit! That never just drinks water. Is that Matthias? Just coffee straight
Oh
to
yeah,
the vein?
it's all coffee. All coffee all the
Okay.
time. That's why he's
Now,
so
before I allow you guys before I allow you to travel down in here, it is evening. You now know the way kind of down towards the lake, but there is a very specific pattern of stones that are set into a spiral to make your way down into the pipe that Tazriel and Vice have navigated, but no one else has.
Mmm.
You know, it'd be great is if, Barden's already set up for spider climb. Thank you. But not like climbing all the way down. It's a hand on the side as they walk down, so it kind of looks normal. So just, this is fine.
So you're using-
Tazriel, how should we get? How should we maneuver this?
Follow our steps. Follow our steps. Exactly. And if you fall in, it's not cold. You'll warm up down there quickly. We'll bring you back up.
Oh, that's good. Okay. I'm gonna do my best to follow these steps, man. I don't know how good it's gonna be, but I'll give it a fucking shot.
Yes, your feet will get wet. These stones are set kind of underwater, so for some of you that might even come up like close to your knee as you're stepping through the warm water. So I need everyone who hasn't navigated it before to get a dexterity check. It's not a super high DC. It's a DC 11.
Okie
Dexterity. Here we go. I'm so dexterous. That's cocked as fuck. Wow. Okay. Dexterity. I think I have
That's an 11.
11.
Well,
that
Dexy.
matches.
I
That's
got
fine.
another 10.
Oh, Maddie
Alex.
boy.
Alex,
Yes.
can I ask, just for the homoeroticism of it all, for
You wanna catch him?
Taz? Yes. Yes, can Taz catch Maddie? I'll
I
roll
will
about
Are
it.
you gonna
allow
like
it.
fucking Howl's
Yeah, you
Moving
know what?
Castle me?
Give me an initiative roll to see if you can catch him in time.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, probably. That's 19.
All right, I will allow you to catch Matthias before he goes under.
I think like Taz is maneuvering, turns and looks and just sees. I don't know where Matthias is in positioning, but Taz is like faster than, typically like 35 feet of movement, and notices that you're about to like falter and just kind of moves through the group and grab your hand right there.
Oh, wow. Matthias doesn't do that. He does, I think he does like blush a little bit. He gets the like the up on the cheekbones, and will right himself and just mutters a thank you, as he gets back on the path and
I think
smiles
Taz
a
is,
little bit.
yeah, Taz is smiling a bit back at you, very much, and then heads back in front.
Keep being gay for a moment. I have to let the cat out.
Oh.
He's screaming.
It's really hot down there, so if you have things you can take off, I would suggest you do.
Oh.
And I don't wear my Empire identification. I don't know. I doubt it'd be an issue with. Fuck, Alex isn't here for Vice.
Oh, I don't know. He does have his little black ice signifier. Oh, maybe I'll make that. He does have his little black ice thing. I don't know. Alex, would it be a bad idea to have a little insignia of the order on his cloak, or should he take it off? What do you think?
That's up to him. The order generally is respected in the wastes.
Great, I'll keep it on.
They're not like they aren't the fantasy cops of this region.
Yes.
That's not how it is. They, in many ways, there isn't an authority in the wastes. The Order of Black Ice is known to do things that some small authorities, like maybe the mayor of an area, would not approve of. You know, they have their kind of their own authority. So
More neutral, a neutral party. Great.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now that you all have made your way. Oh wait, did
How'd everybody else
Kiara
do?
pass your dexterity check? Yeah. Oh wait, sure. Wait, how are you
My
feeling
mouse
about?
is being weird, but Kiara.
Wait,
rolled a
wait, you're not
12.
going. Okay. All right, Kiara, you have to lift up your pants or your skirts a little bit so you don't get your legs wet.
Pardon feels
But-
bad about not taking you on her back, but she's like, I can't trust my feet. You might be better off.
Okay, I have to figure out how to do things myself at some point.
I mean, never hurts to have help.
Well, I know how to call if I need help, so you're all good.
You navigate your way through the water as it grows darker, and then see beyond this massive smoking pipe these sort of almost like curls of a giant worm through the dark lake here. This pipe system. In the distance, the lights of the factory once again turn on. You can see the flickering electric. The rest of the town kind of plunged down into darkness. The smoky scent of whatever pollution this factory is giving off. And then just below, as you look down over the edge of this pipe here, a light within and people passing underneath. And you can all, if you want to hit T again, you should be able to travel.
Get me right up on that thing. I was like, I can't. I was hitting the wrong button because I'm a silly little guy. Oh, a layer.
Great map.
Oh, you made a nice little room. I'm just looking at the video feed.
This is all multiverse just map that I pulled. So shout out to One More Multiverse. This is a fully just like made map.
Amazing.
And it's super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Excellent. So you climb your way down in here. I'm gonna throw some NPCs around for us.
I
we are.
am moving around and taking a look. Look at all these spots, man. Wow.
Right? Do I spy a treasure room?
Maybe. But the
Alex.
entrance room that you see is the same one that Vice and Tazriel initially made their way down into. You once again see the large panther-esque tabaxi,
Mmm.
who seems to be residing in the corner of the room. This
Hot boy.
massive dark form. What was his name again? God.
Hotcakes.
Morn?
Morn. It was. You're right. Morn.
Because it was like morning sun. Morning sun chases blood moon or some shit like that.
It was darkness before the morning or something.
That's the one.
It's always the darkest before dawn.
Darkness, dementia,
Shake it off,
Ravenway.
shake it
I
off.
think I made that exact same joke last time we saw this guy. So
Very good. All of you are able to climb down the ladder. You had noted the little like turning bolt that you can turn, Tazriel, to extend the ladder. So one by one you make your way down. It's a little slippery, but you can feel the warmth issuing from below. This whole area is just heated by the warmth of the lake and the pipes, and there's this sort of uprush, updraft as you climb your way down. And once again, you see these small groups that are gathered around. They seem to be... There is immediately a different aura than last time you were here, Tazriel. There's a anxiety. You see people a little more hushed, a little more stressed. You're not exactly sure what's going on, but just a little more guarded, perhaps.
Do I see? So the last time we were here, Taz traded some stuff, and then he kind of shared some drugs, and he just sat around and chatted and listened. Do I see anybody that I like shared drugs with, or just had a chat with, or anything in here that I might have gotten like somewhat friendly with?
Definitely. You did see Morn, and someone that you are familiar with. There's also a gnome that you would talk to a little bit, whose name was Senti. That's Centi.
Yeah, I think Taz will go over to Senti.
Okay. Senti is smoking this little pipe. It's got these few like bubbles that are kind of drifting up. These little like smoke bubbles that he's blowing. Seems kind of quiet in the corner, but kind of raises an eyebrow and greets you again. Made your way back. Do you have more to share, more to trade?
I do have more to share and to trade, and I assume there was more to this place than what I initially saw, and was hoping to see more if possible. But is everything all right?
There's been a little bit of commotion today. Some of our members are a bit out of sorts. I see you've brought your own group as well.
Yes. My traveling companions, they were otherwise indisposed yesterday.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. Senti is a fairly whiskered gnome, I will say. He's kind of got a lot of like long, grown out beard, like about here, very bushy, as well as under the nose and a little bit kind of out of the ears. These like very big ears, hair that also kind of almost like a mullet-esque, like he's both let his beard hair and his back hair grow out a little bit. Kind of has this habit of like punching his hands while he's smoking, like hold the pipe in his mouth, punch his hands a little bit. Seems a fairly friendly fellow, a little bit older in age as well, and holds out a hand graciously to shake Barden and then Kiara and Matthias.
You said he was shaking me.
The image of a gigantic guy being shaken by a gnome is
Maybe
very good.
that is like a cultural greeting in some spaces. You just like reach out to a person and give him a hearty shake. Honestly, sometimes I feel like getting shaken just a little bit. I shake his hand. I'm so sorry.
You shake his hand, and he says, "You travel with some very attractive companions, Tazriel."
Don't I know it?
Well, there are certainly folks who I think would be pleased to meet all of you. Are you looking... You said you have more... You're looking for more, looking to trade more. We definitely have some interesting goods to trade. if you all are interested. The Grin is known for that. And we always have some passersby coming through. Part of the reason that some of us might be a little bit down is that normally some of the products of the factory can be found here, but the refinery guards have been a little more harsh recently.
Harsh how? If you don't mind me asking.
Some workers' lives were lost and they're looking for more labor, so makes it more difficult both to acquire goods from them and also to traverse the area.
Hmm.
This is a place
Sorry to
where
hear
many of
that.
us come for leisure after a long day.
So we're sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I think I'm kind of
Is
looking
it
to...
always like that?
Has been here for a long time. What were you
think-
saying, son?
I am like looking to Tazriel for direction because he has been here before.
Yeah. Taz is going to also offer his condolences nod, and he does have some shrooms left, and will ask if you would like to partake in that
You want to get high
as
about
well.
Happily.
Hands over. Right, so that's got.
Will the rest of you be joining us?
it? Mushrooms,
Anyone else
huh?
want to do shrooms?
From
Yes?
Skyhold, from Skyhome.
Oh. I'm familiar with these. At least in what they've done. I think that Matthias has done fantasy weed. I don't know if he's done fantasy shrooms, but he did get down on those weird dream drugs at the beginning of our campaign, so he'll take a little bit. But
What
I
about you,
think
Kiara?
puts it in his pocket.
Kiara?
Yes.
What about you? I think. Are you taking
Kiara-
dream drugs?
Oh, sorry. Am I not coming through? Yes. Kiara is going to partake because Kiara's out here to get experiences, baby.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. And yeah, Pooja, I think you're a little soft on the mic right now. I'm not
Oh,
sure
weird.
why that
I don't know why.
is being a little bit funky.
Rude.
Auden
How
very
rude.
politely declines. It's just like someone has to look after this motley crew. Just
Down the hatch.
pats
It-
Taz on the back, just like have fun.
I hope you're not saying no just because you feel responsible for us.
Takes a second and kind of leans down to Kiara and just like, I've never done it because of my whole story situation. You don't know. Better safe, you know.
You know what? Maybe I'll try to buy some from them and then we can do it when you're in a safe space. Do you want
Very
to try?
sweet.
Baden is delighted by that. You could see like she's like, that actually sounds good.
Okay.
But yes, I'm looking after you guys tonight. It'll be fine. Have fun.
Trip safely, my friends.
Exactly.
You,
Sure.
Carol
when your body
100% trips it for you.
When your body shifts without, sometimes like you don't even know if it fucks up. So gotta be safe.
Yeah,
That's
no, you
true.
deserve to feel safe.
hmm
all right. You spread out through these kind of collected rooms. The first few rooms are more of these trading rooms where people are smoking, playing games, rolling dice. There are some residential areas within this underground space as well. It's a large open space. It looks like there are some people who are here recovering, like sleeping, actually. You see quite a number of injuries from some of the folks in one of these. It's sort of the back left room. There's a number of beds, as well as just like a bathing area, some additional clothing, some weapons, and a number of folks seem to be quite bruised, beaten up. They are wrapping arms, some like burns as well. What you might expect from perhaps a fight of some kind that's broken out.
Hmm.
But before we get to that, I want to step back to the tavern, where Oish, your party has left to set out to the market. You are left behind with just Neve, I think. Vice has traveled with Tazriel and Matthias and Kiara and Barton.
Right. Awaish kind of sits there for a moment and then slightly awkwardly clears their throat and says, should we go upstairs then, or was there anything that you wanted to conclude before?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we could have a drink.
Fuck, shit, fuck, God. Would you like a drink?
Yeah.
All right. Awish will wave down the waiter and order Neve a drink.
Thank you. You get two. Just one? Just one. You get Neve a mug of Ferme.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes that from you and kind of sips it. She'll actually give the bartender a copper and then says, okay, we could go upstairs.
Great. And we'll take her upstairs and sit down and open a bunch of books and with their hands so busied in such a way, we'll say, I thought before we got into any sort of lessons, we could have a bit of a conversation.
She's standing there kind of by the entrance of the room holding this carved wooden mug. Her tail kind of curls out from under these long skirts, and then she steps over and sits on one of the cots, kind of looking down at the books that you've laid out on the floor.
I have my own words that I would prefer to say, but if there is anything that you would like to speak first.
Are you mad at me?
No.
You seemed mad at me.
I was angry with you. I am not anymore. Those feelings were inappropriate.
I don't like to be yelled at. And Mom told me I shouldn't let men yell at me. She said it was very important. And you're a lot like the stories, but you're also not like them at all. And that's kind of interesting. And Kiara said that I know you've been telling people that you're my parent. I just haven't known you that long, and I don't want you to discipline me like a parent, because there's a reason I'm not at home.
Neve. Despite what any of my feelings towards you are, you're an adult. And I should know better than anyone the frustration of being disciplined as a child. You are not one. It was not
Thanks.
fair.
Okay. Well, I feel better now. Thank you. I've been feeling really frustrated, and I don't want to put anyone in danger. That's really important, especially not if I'm learning things. But also, Kiara's really nice. And a good listener.
You said I'm not much like the stories. I told you that.
You did tell me that, but I heard all the stories first, so I'm still untangling that.
Neve, in those stories, did your mother ever actually tell you about herself and myself?
She said you lived together, and that you were really important to her.
Okay. I have a ball in my chest. Now I gotta take a breath.
Yeah.
This is anxious. Okay. Awaish takes a bit of a breath and then says, in the culture where I come from, we have a certain manner of telling stories. But I don't know if it fully fits this situation to use that style. What I did was wrong. And I do not wish to repeat it. But I am not a good person. By many standards. And I wish to explain.
Well, she never said you were a particularly good role model.
Neither of us were. Your mother and I met when we were both very young and very stupid. Not as young as you, but still quite young.
She seems to open her mouth to go, I'm not that young, but then stops and lets you finish.
We made many foolish decisions, and some that even I would consider outright reprehensible, more on my part than on hers. When we finally came, the story that your mother tells you, we were much different than the people we were when we met. But When we did come together, we came together under some very particular understandings. And one of them was my reconciling to the fact that your mother would die. And I was not to challenge that. And I didn't. Ever. But I am a very selfish person. Even if I don't express that. And so even as I never did that, I held a very stupid thing inside myself. A very stupid wish. And then I was gone. And I ripped an entire life away from someone.
She did
And
say she was mad at you for dying first, more than once.
she rebuilt it. And then here you are. The exact expression of the very stupid wish that I held inside myself for so long. Made through the life of another. And here I am poised to be responsible for ripping it away all over again. I may not react well to that.
I understand you have a complicated history with my mom. That happened years before I was born. And also that you care about me, which is nice because I think you're really cool and I care about you and I'm learning from you. And but it was my choice to leave home, and I wanted to come on this expedition because I want to learn and fight. And if I get hurt because I make a choice, it's still my choice. Even if my mom is angry at you or angry at me.
Are you familiar with complicity?
Yeah, Sig.
Even if you wanted to come on this journey. It's my party that I allowed you to join. My group. Zig stops for a moment and then reaches into their bag and takes out the gem that they've been working on for the last few nights and says, "This isn't finished. But when it is, if you are in trouble, you use it and you leave. It won't take you far, but at least out of danger."
I don't want to leave if there's danger. I want to help. But I understand.
You can
I
stay,
don't wanna-
you can help, but just... if it becomes too much, finished yet.
It's pretty.
Yes.
Thank you, Sig.
What you did
I'm-
was very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm also glad my mom isn't dead.
Me too. Should we figure out more?
Yeah, okay. Okay. You don't seem super selfish to me.
A very close friend said it to me once, and I think I internalized it a good bit.
I had a tutor who told me the only thing I would ever be able to memorize was the best way to leave home. Because I couldn't pay attention. And, look where I am.
Look where you are.
But I would like to learn more, so.
All right. Show me what you have. And the witch will begin teaching Neve more magic.
Neve is still doing that thing where she seems to kind of enjoy channeling her magic with her weapons, which is
Mhm.
still kind of unusual, but intriguing.
Witch thinks it's cool.
Sweet. How you doing, Sloan?
What do you mean? I'm doing great.
You were making a very emotional face.
You were
Wow.
making quite a face.
I make faces when people RP. I can't help it. I'm an emotional
Okay.
bitch, and I never learned how not to show it.
I'm just
I love
checking
it.
in. Okay, stepping back here. I want to know, Kiara, you're a little fuzzy around the edges, feeling like a peach, perhaps a little fuzzy, vibing. As you are looking through these rooms, is there anything that you're looking for in particular? This is definitely some kind of perhaps thieves guild, but it also seems tied into some of the people from the town. It's also more people than you've seen in this town previously. It seems like a lot of people gather here in the evening. Are you keeping your eye out for anyone or anything in particular?
Kiara is not looking for specific things. Kiara is looking to just be a little sponge for different inputs and kind of see what people are up to, how people live, anything that, she's just curious about who's here and their experiences.
Cool.
The only one thing on her shopping list was armor, which Taz has taken care of, and last time she was around someone trying to negotiate, she ended up having to walk out. So, oh my
Fair
god, the
enough.
lads are flexing.
Oh my god. Okay, Kiara, could you give me a perception check? Or an insight, whichever you prefer.
Let's see. My mouse is. I think I need new batteries on this bitch. They're the same for me, so. Oh my god. See, y'all work out your arms. This bitch works out her legs. So. No,
Give a little
see that
treadmill
on
under the
me.
table.
No, Jesus. That is a 16 plus 4, whether it's insight or perception. So dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Excellent. Kiara, as you are wandering through here a little bit, talking to some folks, most of the people of this town, I would say, are fairly older than you. This does seem to have just like an older population. There aren't a lot of, not that they would necessarily be down here, but there aren't a lot of like teen thieves that are running through, you know? It's you are one of the younger people in this area. It seems like most of the Grin itself, the guild, and some of the like older women that are playing and rolling dice have just kind of seen the wear and tear of the waste. So it's not like you're being stared at necessarily, but you do maybe feel a little out of place compared to some of the lives that these people have led. Especially with that high, let's call it insight. There's a general weariness beyond even just what Tass picked up that you get the sense relates specifically to how people are getting by financially. Your demeanor and your outfit have changed over time as you've traveled with the party. You no longer have as much jewelry, right? And now you're more layered up for the wastes. But I still think there's a general sense of how you kind of stand out as someone who has these little luxuries still. Even though you're traveling in the waste, maybe even just like the makeup you wear, your skincare routine, the little baubles in your hair, where these little luxuries are not something you're seeing a lot of in this area. The things that people are trading even, there are precious things. You see some of the armor that Taz had acquired. You see these very elegantly made sort of bracelets that seem like they were handmade. They're treated very like they're very precious.
It's interesting because like I think out here before coming here, Kiara for the most part, one of the biggest luxuries I think she's had has been the ability to press to digitate, right? And keep themselves clean and just the natural things you're used to in terms of making sure your braids are smooth and using that kind of like as a brush, things like that. And I think as Kiara walks around, probably for the first time definitely for the first time in their life, they are looking at what life is without magic and without just magic being used offhandedly to honestly just make things like accessible to folks, how much easier it makes life. And so I think in a way Kiara's like, okay, this is what life is like on hard mode.
Kiara understanding their brain.
Yeah, and I think especially they're a little peachy right now, and she's just looking around being like, oh, I think there's a sense she wants to try to approach somebody and see like how can she help, but also feeling like anything that they have to offer is going to be considered like a magical and a problem. And so if anything, she'll try to find somebody who's working with their hands, because that's something that I think she can understand. And as somebody who like constantly is fidgeting and braiding things and twisting things, I think that's something that she can start a conversation with. Yeah.
I actually think that Morn gestures you over. Morn kind of catches your attention because for the most part, he has been talking, people have been passing through, and then after a while, he kind of steps over to where some of these folks are tending bandages. People who seem like they've maybe gotten in a fight or had some injuries at the factory, just friends who are resting here, and that at least is quite familiar to you. Like rituals of care, washing bandages in fresh water, lighting herbs and incense that's meant to create a nice smell, cleanse the air, that kind of care for each other and like working to help people. The temples that you traveled through on your journey, as well as the ones in Jalraha, you are familiar with. So even though this large Darkford Tabaxi maybe seems a little more imposing, he's quite gentle in how he is working with his friends to just like stop by and ask them how they're doing or to help wrap a bandage. And maybe even seeing you kind of watching this, he kind of just purrs out, "Would you like to help?"
Oh, yes. definitely. And Kiara doesn't even really register the whole like imposing looking person doing gentle things because I mean, being around
You had a-
tabaxi and
Yes, you had a parental
terrifying.
figure who was very like that.
Exactly.
Maybe a little harsher, actually.
Yeah. And yeah, the other thing is, of course, that neither of Kiara's magical sources are internal. So, like, while she's been around magic all the time, like, she has always, I think when she started working and helping out at the temple, you know, before she got any sort of cleric powers herself, it was a little bit of like, okay, someone needs to do the washing and bandaging. And I think that's just like a natural fit for her in terms of like helping out in whatever way she can. And so, yes, she just immediately helps and is just having a great time.
Morn kind of shows you they have a little basin here of some of this hot water that they've been like bubbling and burning. There are these little side alcoves that are set into the walls here. It seems like maybe some of the lake water actually drips down and they've got little just like coals set in to catch where it drips so they can then boil it and clean it. So it's, you know, a little, it's like damp, kind of drippy, but it's not a gross area. Like they've channeled it to keep it nice down under here, under the lake. And so kind of passes you some of these like hot cloths to clean and wrap around. People's hands are very calloused and bruised, like they've been working long hours with machinery or tools. So just like you wrap some of these wet cloths around the hand of a very old man, and he just sighs in relief, presses his hands together to feel the warmth. Thank you.
Oh, of course. And I think Kiara will turn to Morn while they're working and just be like, how did you get into this position?
I'm a bit older than I look. I've been working in Ferris for many years. I developed a condition that makes it hard for me to work long periods of time and was near starving. But many members of the community offered what little they had to me. And I found myself in a bit of a unique position to help out others like me who, after working here so long, could not take care of themselves in the way that one would hope to.
I'm glad you have the community where you can take care of each other. But if you don't mind my asking, why do you have to be underground?
Kind of gestures over, you can see two of the younger people, two young men, maybe even of like a Goliath heritage, skin that's a little stonier in color. It seems like they might be from the waste, kind of dressed similarly, like layers of cloaks. Fairly strong looking as well, these sort of like maybe 20 or so boys who are kind of unloading some packages and like folding clothes over here. Like maybe they've just got in some extra clothes for some of the folks, and it kind of gestures over to them under his breath and says, many of those who come of age, able-bodied workers, are pressed into service at the factory. So those of us who seek other professions, it's often better to demonstrate our talents in places where the refinery can't see.
Into service? As in, even if they don't want to?
Well, although you might have noticed that the market prices are quite expensive here, food comes at a premium, especially what is shipped in from elsewhere, but those who work at the factory are able to purchase from the company store, which is one of the only methods to get affordable goods. Housing is provided. They are strongly encouraged to join through those, among other methods, threats, etc.
So they just. And I assume the company wasn't always here. It came in at some point, right?
As far as I've known, it's been here for a long time. The discovery of the black oil. I'm not particularly a historical person,
Well,
but
it's just. Yeah.
hundreds of years, I assume. Not this particular factory, but mining operations in on the archipelago.
To all the support people, the people who have to run establishments for the workers to eat, things like that. Do they have to? How do they get by?
It's an expensive area. The electricity, that light you see that the refinery provides, makes many things easier. Most of my friends here have taken to selling underground goods to make them more affordable. But over time, the factory has bought up much of the land in this area, working with roving mining groups to bring in the coal and the hardened ichor. So those of us who might attempt to sell other goods, make things more affordable, have either left, traveled deeper into Valkyrie, which has its own dangers, or further along the archipelago, where it's still hard to get work. But because of the number of folks like you who pass through, travelers, tourists, order members, others who are heading towards Blighthelm or deeper into the wastes, this pass is the most notable way from the archipelago to travel, so money is spent here, which allows the factory to maintain prosperity.
You mean it's chokehold over the community?
He kind of shrugs these massive shoulders and then finishes tying a splint around the leg of a older woman, who kind of like straightens it out and then stretches and cracks her shoulders and lies back on the bed.
And this is how it's always been?
It's not that we haven't attempted to push back, just rather that the ichor is difficult to work with, and the processes that the refinery has perfected in its care and keeping have made many things possible. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of work, labor, and the technology they've developed to take care of it to do that work. So even if some of us might attempt to refine the ichor or to, protest some of the workings that they've had, their mastery over the electricity and the way the factory is guarded have made it quite difficult to sabotage any operations. And the force that they can muster. There are many of us here who work for the refinery, but others who are not here and are quite happy with their situation.
Well, I don't know much about much, but it seems like that would be in their interest, right? Have enough people be satisfied with the status quo to where there's never a need to change it. Meanwhile, anyone who is not able-bodied and able to work there or doesn't want to has to suffer.
You see our dilemma. But that's why the Grin is here, and it certainly makes things a bit more pleasant.
I love that. I love that real community can still find a way.
Yes. Do you know how long you are staying? Sorry, you said your name was...
I'm Kiara, but I don't make decisions.
No?
No, I just go where I'm told to go.
And have you been working on that at all?
Kind of like it, because my input is considered, and I do feel that if I wanted to go somewhere, we could. It's just I'm just along for the ride. Everything is new to me.
So we have different problems then.
Yes. I'm not. Well, at least currently, I am not at the whims of company overlords who don't give a shit about me. So that's nice.
Fun, yes. Well, for as long as you're here, you're welcome to the company of the Grin.
Thank you. And unfortunately, most of what I have to offer lies in the realm of magic that everyone is very concerned by. But if I can heal, I can help at least diagnose things, if not treat it magically. So I would love to help
That
in
is
any way I can.
appreciated, but it would be wise not to use any magic. As you said, down here, this section of the lake is not as polluted, but there can still be some adverse reactions.
Of course, I understand. I saw firsthand what happens, but as far as at least regular medical diagnoses go, I have some experience, and I'm happy
Certainly.
to share that.
Well, most of these injuries are from machinery. There are some rumors that some of my friends have mentioned about other ways to earn money, but that seems to be a recent development, and I don't have much intel on it.
If I may, why do people who get injured from machinery have to come here to get help or treatment? Why doesn't the corporation treat them?
They do. It's taken out of their wages, however.
What?
Just heard Sloane groan.
Wait, I'm sorry. They get hurt while performing work required of them for the company, and instead of getting paid, they have to pay for it?
It's often attributed to their own lack of attention.
Protecting your workers seems like how to run a company 101. What are they going to do if everyone's injured and can't work?
I don't know.
Okay, who runs this corporation? I need to have a conversation with them.
That... I do not think you would enjoy the conversation you would have.
Or they would not enjoy the conversation I'm about to have.
Well, there is a number of members of the refinery board who orchestrate much of the dealings, trade, etc. of the region. I don't know any of them personally. They live, you might have seen a house sort of along the left bank of the river. It's connected to the factory. They have offices there, but the members that I used to know when I worked previously, been around 20 years or so now. So, more likely sons and daughters than the imposing figures I knew.
I'm sorry, it might be the mushrooms, but I have to go start a fight now. I'll be back. I'm gonna go fight Matthias.
this might be the mushrooms, but I feel the overwhelming desire to commit horrible violence.
I love how timely this is, despite the fact that this is an arc that we've been planning for a while now. It's just
Yeah.
right now that we're getting to it.
The
Yep.
writer's strike, right? I'm like, yes.
Gorgeous.
Oh, donate to the Writers Community Fund.
Donate to the writer's strike.
I didn't know there was a community fund.
There is a fund. There's a community
Yes.
fund.
Find the link.
Send the link so we
Somebody
can put
else
it in
find the
chat.
link, because
I know.
Kiara's about
I
to
can
go
send
find
it-
Matthias.
I'll send it in chat because I've been colluding. So hang on.
Okay.
Colluding?
Yeah, where is Matthias?
Oh, Matthias has been following Taz around, I think. I imagine either Taz or Vice, because they've both been here.
Taz.
Vice has found
Yeah.
her gambling group of
Oh,
older
okay.
women again.
Yeah, so she sits down there and he probably like stands behind her for a little bit awkwardly and then redirects to go find Taz.
She's like, don't look at my hand.
he's with Tazriel. Oh my
Okay.
god, hold on. I have to fucking get back to the combat screen so y'all can see this fucking ridiculously ripped Catman. Jesus. Look at those.
Is that my is that me, the human guy VJ's love of their life? Is that who I think that is?
I didn't put clothes on him. I forgot
That's
to put
fine.
clothes
No, that's
on
fine.
me.
Fucking-
No, this is so fine. Who needs clothes down here? It's so
Do
hot.
not
Wow.
change it until I can get back in. I'm posting a link to chat. It got fucked up.
So funny.
I
I
can't see it. Oh Jesus.
I need to make a custom body that is like a fuzzy cat, because there's something distinctly uncanny valley about this body specifically that's fucking me up.
I can give him hair if you want.
No. He's
Don't change him. He's
fine
perfect.
Just the way he is.
He's
Don't touch
perfect.
Don't
him.
move a thing.
Yes, I am with Tazriel. Sorry, Kiara.
Okay. So, Kiara's gonna come and stand, like, right next to Matthias, you know, if he's looking around, I don't know if you're looking down a foot, but she's just gonna stand next to him, and I'm assuming Taz is within ear's reach, too, and say,
Yeah, right next.
So the corporation that runs this town is totally fucked, and we should do something about it.
I was thinking the same thing.
Wait, hold on. What happened?
Kiara's gonna give you the lowdown about the workers and all, you know, just how the corporation runs this town and why this underground market has had to come into existence. And then specifically, she said, also, they have the audacity to charge the workers who get injured while working for them from their wages.
I think actually, Matthias like doesn't have as much of a reaction to that as maybe you, Kiara, immediately had. He is very clearly like reading your face to try and inform how he should feel about that, because when you say it, it's something that he's heard of happening before, and it is normal to him.
You're from a
Can
weird
Kiara pick
place.
up? Can Kiara pick up on this?
Probably.
I don't know how tripping is she? Maybe I'll roll an insight
I mean,
or something.
she's very insightful, and Matthias is not necessarily. Matthias
Is it-
doesn't have a lot of like artifice to him, and you've probably at this point picked up on when he's confused, even though he is pretty stoic most of the time. So, I think definitely you say that, and he's just like, and
This is bad.
okay,
That is not a way to treat people who help you exist. Like I said, if everybody gets injured, who's going to run their things? Like, they need to treat people better. Everybody needs to treat people better.
isn't it because the worker made a mistake?
No, it's because they were following the rules given to them by the company, which who knows if they were even safety conscious. Like, are you making sure that the workers are getting enough rest and enough sleep and enough food? Probably not.
Also, even if a mistake is made, the mistake is happening while on the job, and said company still has some responsibility for that. You wouldn't be hurt if you weren't doing this work.
Matthias, if I got hurt while we were out in the wastes and we needed to go find some supplies, would you charge me for them?
No, of course not.
Basically the same thing, right?
One thing about the Rays, excellent healthcare system.
I was literally thinking that. I was like,
Rub those
there are a lot of
bracelets
things.
together, Maddie.
No, we're not.
Yes.
Listen, we got entire temples with gems in the walls because you gotta keep your subjects alive, or else who will be your subjects?
Yes.
That
I will
does
also
make
say,
sense.
In Skyhome, the kind of form of the economy is very much based around the sirs. So there are some sirs and some families that do have kind of an exploitation of labor going on. There's also more of a, I would say, kind of the, again, not like healthy, but the healthier end of kind of a serf and lord structure where the upkeep of the floodplains is very important. And so taking care and like building towns and building infrastructure and providing services to people who live on the floodplains is a big part of being a ser. There's a lot of maintenance and care that goes into bringing in shipments and that kind of thing. So Matthias would be familiar with that kind of like large companies, long hours, making people pay for certain things that they need, but also familiar with kind of a reciprocal relationship between authority and workers.
Got it. Okay. He does seem thoughtful. He's picking up what's happening.
And Matthias has also noticed that, like, Kiara, I mean, over time, you've probably noticed that Kiara very much reacts from a place of, like, gut feelings of right and wrong. And this is definitely one of those situations then she says, this corporation would not be able to do what it does without the workers, but has convinced the workers that they need it. It has to go both ways.
Yes. Okay. Well, what do the workers say we should do?
Well, they told me where the people on the board of the corporation are. We could have a go have a chat. People deserve to not have to live underground. That's all.
I wonder if they have a spokesperson or someone. I know that I don't know exactly what's going on here. So, if there's somebody who would be willing to have a conversation, I would gladly go with them to lend whatever assistance I could. If you feel passionately about this, then we certainly have time.
I do. And Daz, think you have some strong feelings about this too?
Of course. I know what people say about the Raj, but for all of that, we don't do this.
I kind of thought that everyone was staying down here because it was a cool place to stay and they liked it. But if they don't like it, then they shouldn't have to stay here. So.
Well, it is a cool place.
It is a very cool place. But you know what? They should be here because they like it and not because they have to be down here. So that is what the goal is.
Like, they'd still probably be down here because it's cool. But
It's fucking cool down here.
They
It's a cool spot.
But they shouldn't have to, like, trade down here. They
Yes.
don't have to.
Okay.
As far as someone to speak to, maybe I don't know. I know someone that would probably know who that person is. If they aren't that person, he isn't the person.
All right.
Damn.
What did you say? Hold on, you cut out for a second.
Kiara just goes, time to do some research.
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 And I think Taz is gonna go over to Morn.
Matthias is not real. Oh, I thought you were just literally looking into space.
There's the weirdest sound outside of our apartment. When you see the three of us make the same expression, some shit is going on outside.
It sounds like a kid yodeling.
I thought I heard something too.
Exactly.
I thought Matthias was just looking at something, and I was like, Matthias, it's not real.
We can say that happened in real life.
No,
In
Taz,
real
before you
life,
go
in
over-
the game. Oh god! My realities are converging. Oh fuck.
Azrael, before you do that, novel, Barden, what have you been doing wandering around? I feel like you've kind of missed some of the union conversation. Like something has attracted Barden's attention. What are you looking for?
See, originally I was going to be like, Barden has some knowledge, a little bit of first aid from, being a training to be a knight, knowing how to help everyone else with the splints and, putting shoulders back into place. But seeing that Kiara's kind of got a hold on it, she's just kind of like, I think she kind of, as she's chatting to more, just on her on her head, just like, I'll see you in a bit. Oh, sorry. I'll see you in a bit. I'm gonna see if they have any books. It might have books down here. Like she did want to help down here, but Kiara seems to have it done. So yeah, she's off trying to find a fucking book in this frozen place.
You'll never guess. You'll never guess what I've got for you in this incredible map made by One More Multiverse.
Is it a
Let me-
library?
Ooh, you wander through the halls, and then over here we've got a library.
A library.
How the fuck is the spot? I'm trying to find it.
Cute.
Jesus, this
There's,
place
like-
is huge. Oh, here it is.
Look at that perfect little chair set right there. Just oh, she is beyond happy to
A
see
place
a
to hang and
library.
chill.
Just like
How do they keep the books from moldering? Who is that?
ooh, hello.
There's a
That
bitch
is-
in a fancy hood.
Oh my god, it's the
That's
collector.
Horatius.
That is a wizard.
Is that
That
Laura?
is a spellcaster.
Love Outhouse.
It's not Laura. Bill Gessner. Pardon, there is someone who is sitting here reading in a chair. This area seems a little bit less. There's not a lot of people here. There are some books. They are kind of shielded over. There's like it's like stuffed with paper, basically, but not like brown paper. Like kind of books are kind of shielded from the damp. You
Yeah.
also had to kind of go up the stairs a little bit. You're wondering if maybe this is not deeply under the lake section. Maybe this is kind of underground under the bank area.
Mm.
But seem to be just kind of sitting and reading as you wander in. This is a pale-skinned elven man with white hair and a fairly nice dark cloak with some gold embroidery, some nicer clothes than you've seen from many of the people down here.
Okay. Gonna be quiet. They've grown up in a library. They know the kind of the rules, and just sort of get into this person's point of view and just be like, "Hi, sorry to interrupt.
Hello?
Hi, I'm Barden. What's the rules here? Is it a case of you sit in the room, you don't take the book out? Do I pay to read? Is there a librarian?
Oh, and no one's allowed to touch the books.
Oh, okay." Like,
I'm joking. He picks up and closes the book and puts
Oh.
it back on the shelf.
That was very funny.
sorry. I know a library which definitely has a lot more rules about you
This
touching
is-
things, so I like to check.
This is not quite a library necessarily. It's more of a collection of books people take and leave as they choose.
See, sorry. Hi, I said my name's Barden. Nice to
Salo.
meet you. Salo, lovely.
Yes.
What are you reading?
Actually, mostly diagrams. I'm not sure you'd be particularly interested. You
What kind?
kind of turns the book and pulls it back out and shows you, and it looks like a lot of diagrams of wheels, like turning wheels, spinning wheels, cartwheels.
You thinking of making a windmill or a
No, not particularly, just interested.
just like knowing?
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. So I know that above they did really like the books. So is this where they're all kept?
Um, there are books here. There are other books within Fierce. I've studied some of the books of the refinery as well.
Could I? Okay, is there like a system, or is it just a
Yeah,
case of you have to read the labels and things?
There's not really a system. There are maybe 50 or 60 books here on the shelves, but they do seem like kind of an interesting scattering. There are a lot of manuals, like operation manuals
learning
on
to
the
do shit.
shelves.
I'm
Yes.
getting freaking series of unfortunate events. The wood mill, where just like you can only learn about the wood mill.
Yes, that's kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
There are a few, some more like kind of handwritten that seem like notes on the area, maybe almost like a ranger's journal. A few things like that.
I think she takes a minute and is just looking at the first collection of books she'd seen in a while and just goes, "Are there any books about the ichor, the oil? People don't seem to like to talk about it."
Not a lot that would be here. It's a strange material and can be quite dangerous. Most of what we know about it is word of mouth. Are you a scholar? Are you traveling here interested in the ichor?
Yeah. I think she takes a minute, but this probably won't mean anything, but pulls out the stamp that belongs to the Silverhawk, and basically allows her entry to most libraries. And
Yes.
I remember my shit. I remember that was a cool thing. Just like does he seem to recognize it?
That is vaguely familiar to me. The tomb loft, right? That's the symbol of the tomb loft?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I been there a fair amount.
I have not been myself, but I've been interested in going. I am also a researcher of a kind.
Oh, you mean if you ever go, just say that Barden sent you and you should get a warm welcome.
Barden, well, very nice to meet you.
Thank you. And what do you study?
Building things, mostly.
Are you planning that here?
A bit of an architect, yes.
Ooh. I mean, if you have any sketches, I'd love to see.
I'm not as good with my hands, necessarily, but kind of... There's a little ink and a pen here. Just kind of takes it out and dabs it. You can see he's got pretty poor handwriting. Like, he's not great at sketching, necessarily. But as he, like, scribbles a bit, he just kind of talks through his ideas for a particular kind of archway that he has been trying to test. I'm more of a mathematical kind of person, so weights and forces and pressures.
So you're hoping to hold something heavy with an arch?
Yes.
Kind of looks around and goes, "Here? The weight of a lake is pretty heavy."
That is why I am here. Morn gave me permission to study some of the underground architecture that's been developed. This is a very old ruin that was converted into an area for the Grin to use.
A ruin? Do you happen to know what it was before?
Some kind of bunker, I believe.
For who?
From a war that was here at one point.
Do I know about any wars in the Valkyrie?
You can also give me a history check. This is, again, a pretty high DC, if only because Valkyrie has had a weird history.
That was a history check, yeah.
Yes.
Come on. Oh my god, all my rolls hate me today. That was 11. I ain't getting shit. I don't remember shit.
Most of what you have heard about Valkyrie is that it doesn't have a single common government infrastructure, so it could be a number of fights over resources from smaller communities. But it has been there's a lot of conflict that's happened in Valkyrie, so it's not unusual.
Can I, considering that I've been in the Tome Loft, and the Tome Loft has many places of many parts of history, is there anything that looks similar in age to the room around me?
Generally, you would estimate at least 80 to 100 years. Probably.
Okay.
So
Any
not
particular...
crazy old, but...
Is there like a lineage style, like Dwarven or Elven or...
No, not in particular. You are pretty familiar with more old styles of both Elven and Dwarven mythological weapons and architecture and building. I would say this just seems like something that was constructed by a lot of people, working together to make a large underground space.
I think that kind of makes us smile, the idea of that. And she does sort of go, yeah, maybe keeping the books further from the surface might be an idea.
Perhaps.
Also, I mean, if you are interested in having more books here, I can talk with the keeper of the Tome Loft. He's always interested in getting more information in different places. And you know,
I would be very interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you, I don't know, if you'd like to write a letter, I can just pass it along.
Oh.
I'll be
actually,
here for tonight. Or sorry.
Would you like to go on a walk with me?
No. No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
Don't go to strange places.
I mean,
Thank you for the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
She's excited by the idea of meeting someone who does this, but also it's just, I want to do like a little bit of an insight, because this is a stranger.
Okay. Give me an insight check.
This is a stranger. Oh, that's a nat 1 with a 6, so that's a 7.
Rip!
Oh my
Great.
god.
Amazing. Fantastic.
She is just so excited about the idea of cool architecture being rebuilt. She's like, yeah, of course.
You get nothing, basically. The vibe is... Honestly, he just doesn't have a very expressive face, is what I will say. He's just kind of a chill dude who seems excited about books.
She gets that. My
Yeah.
novel doesn't really have much expression. She gets it.
And you have a big sword. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. There's a particular area, if you're also interested in architecture, some older ruins. So you and Sallow head out of this library area. He brings with him one of these little manuals that he tucks away, and he actually leaves. It seems like he's been trading out manuals, so he's got issue 4, and he puts back issue 3 of wheels and machinery, and walks out with you.
Oh,
There we
go. Yeah.
Oh,
Are we still?
the creatures
are
are
we still
leaving.
connected? Taz, are we still connected, mime-wise? Because we had 8 hours.
We had 8
Before.
hours. Isaac, is it gone?
Have we timed
I mean,
out?
not Isaac.
Evening.
Alex.
Isaac's a good name. I'm gonna say you're just timed out at this point, probably because.
I think she tries to reach out on it, and there's like, oh, it's all right. I'll just be a minute.
Busy reception.
Yeah. I'm checking out all that if it looks older and.
Yeah, actually, Sal kind of points out some of the arches that are bowing, holding up the force of the lake. Interesting.
It kind of makes Barlin think of the arches that Siren seems to love in the Tome Loft.
Yeah.
Just the really highly engraved ones, and kind of thinks it would be nice to help them build something like that here. So where we going?
And then you and Sallow head up the pipe. You see there are maybe some of the people that you've met around here just kind of give you a general wave, and then you walk up. The night has become quite clear and a little bit crisper, but the warmth of the lake is still kind of, there's like a bit of steam that's almost rising off of it from around here, so you can see through the mist. And then, do you mind helping me? I'm not very, as I said, not very good with my hands nor my feet. I'm not super. I've
To
slipped
help.
in the lake before.
Oh, to help them through the lake.
Yes.
Yeah, certainly. Well, how would you feel most comfortable? I could piggyback or lift you up.
Piggyback. If you don't mind.
What way do they want? Piggyback?
No, you kind of lets you like pick him
just-
up in your arms.
Yeah,
a
they're
little
just
bit.
like Princess freaking carries, just like being very like trying to keep an eye on their steps, on her steps, just like, okay, we're fine, we got this. I've already done this once.
This like pretty skinny elven man in your arms. You can actually see his hands are shaking a little bit. It seems like maybe he has a bit of a tremor or something as you carry him like winding back out along the stones back to the bank. And then kind of like sets himself down. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is cold at night, and getting my ankles a bit wet can getting them cold makes me limp a little.
My dad, he has a bit of arthritis in the hands as he's gotten older, so yeah, keeping him warm, important.
We can stay within view of the lake. It seems like you had some traveling companions.
Yeah, shouldn't go too far.
Of course.
But yeah, show me. I'd love to see.
And just kind of walks you a little bit around the side so you can still see the lake. Thank you. We point. He kind of points towards this. There you have the factory, right? And then there's this kind of house that you can see through the trees, where it's almost a similar architecture to the factory. It's got this brick, right? But it's got this interesting kind of arch to the top of it, like this arched roof that he points out, stepping through the trees. I know some friends who live here.
They'd be happy for you to bring a guest?
I don't think they would mind necessarily.
I mean, yeah, we'll go knock.
All right. And kind of like steps with you into the woods a little bit.
Still keeping an eye out naturally, because we were also fucking followed by gnolls. They could be around.
Of course.
Oh god, leading me to gnolls.
And goes over, and you see this like fence that's around this house here, the same metal fence. Like pushes the gate open and gestures for you to follow.
Metal fence. Have I seen a fence like that before? Or is that connected to the electricity?
You've seen there was a similar one around the outside of the factory.
Okay. I go in.
Okay. And then shuts the gate and goes up and knocks on the door. And it swings open. You see inside a warm interior with what seems to be 4 other people that are wearing cloaks that are similar to what Sallow is wearing. The sort of dark with the gold embroidery, and then says, I brought the friend who was interested in the architecture of this place. And the 4 of them just kind of like turn and smile at you. You see 2 elven men who look very similar to Sallow. One who is much older, like even for an elf, kind of wrinkled, long gray hair that's tied back. And then Sallow just kind of steps around and shuts the door.
Hi. I feel a little bit underdressed. You all seem to match. Is that a group thing?
We would like to offer you a job.
I'm already kind of attached to one right now, but
I think you do quite well.
can I? What's the vibe? What's the vibe here?
Now you the vibe immediately soured. Like, Sallow seems pretty sweet. These guys are staring at you like they are appraising a prime hog.
I think behind Barden's, like the story of Barden, I think Novel is beginning to panic because this is the look that they have been afraid of their whole life. If the idea of them being seen, but Barden is keeping hold. It's got, oh, that's very kind, but I'm afraid I have to get back to my friends. I'm actually on a mission for actually struggles with the words because it's like trying to remember for one of the Abjurian princes. Actually, sounds crazy, but you know, I should probably get back. I really appreciate the offer, though. Thank you, Sallow.
You must be confused. The Raise has no jurisdiction in Valkyrie.
Yes, but I was making you aware of who might be looking for me.
Well, they wouldn't miss you for too long. We just need a little of your time.
What do you want from me?
We've got some archways to build.
Looks to Sallow.
Sallow kind of smiles and shrugs. The factory is growing. I've invented a marvelous new structure, and I think we could expand production maybe 150% productivity. We just need some more hands to build.
Barden's going for the door.
Arden, will you give me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, fuck, dexterity! I'm fucked. Shit.
They're scabs. Fuck them.
Oh my god, please get... That's an 11.
Okay. Barden, you plant your hand on the metal doorknob. And
Shit.
feel
something spark through your body.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
very similar to like the other day with a wage, huh? A familiar.
Yes, a familiar spark.
I think there was a moment of like, Oish?
And then, like, consciousness shocks out of you, white light through your eyes. You feel every hair on your body stand on end. It takes all of your concentration to maintain your form, as the pain you feel is exquisite. You are blasted away from the door. What feels like that into Sal's arms, who just kind of drops you to the floor. And as smoke issues from around you, the smell of something burning, you see the 4 other men just kind of look down at you. Just a moment of your time. And then everything goes black.
Fuck.
Woo!
Yay! Another successful
murdering everybody.
D&D session.
Ooh, just a,
I love how my fucking sword is definitely a huge conductor. Am I gonna... Oh, I could have frickin' burn scars.
We sure played a game.
Of the blade.
definitely played the game.
Sure was a session.
We surely did.
Listen,
That was a session,
The
definitely.
factory, the refinery can have researchers too. Sweet little men who research, who
Scab bitches.
scab. Yes, Sallow is a scab. Sallow sucks.
Okay.
But he's also a layered and nuanced character. Anyway, we thank you so much for watching.
We
Yes,
gotta
so-
go. We gotta get out of here because we got people who are doing things and stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out. Also, thank you for the raid. Big
Appreciate y'all.
appreciation. We're not raiding into anyone else today because we all gotta jet But if you're hanging around from there, thank you so much. You can catch us every Saturday. We've got Tragedy of Theologian every Sunday, and we have assorted shows that happen all the time around that. Welcome to Total Party Kiss. And also, if you're here and you can, consider supporting the writer's strike that's happening in Los Angeles right now. Because writers deserve to have that be their full-time job. Because yes, obviously, it's obvious. They deserve it. There is that very, very long link. I don't think the full link linked,
I promise
but
it
if
works.
you put it into a
I tried
URL,
clicking
it will work.
works.
You can
Yeah.
give money to the community fund, and that would be super cool. Otherwise, that's all. Thank you to One More Multiverse for our sick-ass maps. Thank you for our music from Soundtail. Always a bop. Am I missing anything? Does anybody have anything they want to list off?
You can find us everywhere on socials on @TotalPartyKiss on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you for your support.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
See you next weekend.
Bye, guys.
We'll be back next week without
Bye.
Sham. Bye.